And here we are alive as ever on a Friday. So hope you're all doing really well. And yeah, it's that Friday feeling. And we do have a guest today. But before we bring him in, I just want to say hello to a few people. We got Sandra. We've got Sean. Sean, we got something coming up for you tonight, brother. And we've also got Music Therapy Laz in the chat. Great to see you guys. So another thing, why are we celebrating today? Well, other than the Guitar Festival, it's International Day of Friendship in the United States. It's World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. Wow. It's Summer's Day in Bermuda. Independence Day in Vanuatu. The Feast of the Throne in Morocco. Martyrs Day in South Sudan, I should say. It's also National Cheesecake Day, National Father-in-Law Day. Well, my father-in-law likes cheesecake. National Whistleblower Day. So if anybody wants to tell anyone, today's the day to do it. National Talk in an Elevator Day. National System Administrator Appreciation Day. And National Get Gnarly Day. So there we go. That's all what we've got on today that we need to celebrate. But more importantly, we need to celebrate the fact that we have a wonderful guest, my buddy and partner in crime in the British Boutique Guitar Festival, Mr. Lewis Trower. Hey,
hello.
Lewis.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, just about recovered. Yeah.
You're just about recovered. I say hello to Lee Miriano. Hey, Mike, how are you? Just retired of 1 hour ago. As of 1 hour ago.
Wow.
Congratulations, buddy. Real congratulations. Tall Thin Kev Guitars. Dwight Bailey's in. Roadie's Jam Cave. Alexis Guitars. Hey, man. Really cool to see you in. Hi, all. He says, is Lewis Trower and relations to the awesome Robin Trower?
This is a very grey area. As far as we know, yes. We've tried making contact, but I think he's sort of hidden behind a wall. I've even offered like outright online, like if he needs stuff for a tour, you know, even if it's just stuff to sit in a rack. Wow. There's always something waiting for him. But yeah, we did trace this back. My dad did. He is a cousin of my dad's. But if you really want to look into the history of it, if you're into all that, the Trowers had a very nasty fallout about a century ago. And apparently, yeah, it was very nasty, and they split down two parts. And one of them was really successful and awesome. And then there was our side. So
bit of a lower key weekend this weekend, I think, from last weekend. Well, I have literally, I was just telling Lewis that I've been doing a workshop with the kids all week. So I didn't get on to John's live show this evening and have a beer with him because we were still filming. So there you go. Yeah. So there's your answer, Alexis Guitars. He is a distant relation or a cousin, a second cousin. How interesting. And yeah, we're definitely. And hello from Stuttgart as well, which is awesome. And also the Lamb's in. Hey, Lamb, how you doing, bro? Really good to see you. And John ZD 351. Hello, he says. Hello. Where is it? There we go. Hello. Okay, Jack Collins. I think I just said hello to him. Yeah, so we got no, I didn't. He's from Louisiana. There we go. Hey, everyone from Louisiana. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. We are indeed, brother. If anybody has got any other questions for Lewis, and by the way, reason for wearing this silly hat is just to keep this long hair under control. I really struggled over the weekend. I looked back at the live shows from the British Boutique Guitar Festival, and I thought, what an absolute mess you look, Mike. And so I thought, no, I'm definitely got to do something about this. Dwight Bailey saying hello to you there, Lewis.
Hey, bud.
Awesome. So, yeah. Oh, mate. Oh, look. we also lost the singer from Metal Church. The lead singer from Metal Church has died.
Oh,
No way. That is so sad. Well, I do know, because Lewis and I were just discussing it, that we have had a bit of bad news this week, in that we can share this sad news. Dusty Hill from ZZ Top, the bassist, has died aged 72, which is an absolutely gutting situation. Are you a big ZZ Top fan, Lewis?
unbelievably big ZZ Top fan. And
Oh, man.
the really cool thing was, I try and remember the date. So it must have been 2019, just before. Well, I say just before, probably 6 months before COVID. My cousin, as a Christmas gift, actually got me tickets for them at, I want to say is it the SSE Wembley something? I can't remember the exact, but it was there, and unbelievable. So they were doing the celebrating 50 years, and I tell you now, I've seen probably bordering on 100 different bands in that live, and by some way, the coolest band still to this day. It still just puts a big smile on my face just thinking about how just incredible they were.
The ZZs.
Yeah, and I mean, had you not known, you would have said, they were still in their 20s. You know, just that cool. Just didn't miss a note, didn't miss a beat. It was incredible, and it was just
players.
Yeah, and it's so sad to hear that this week.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, the only nice thing is it says here that he died in his sleep, and they didn't give any further details, but that was yesterday. Earlier in July, they'd announced that he was not playing some upcoming shows due to a hip injury. Played with the band for over 50 years.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it is so sad. Yep. So there we go. A very, very sad day today. And I'm going to look up, just while we go back to this, I'm going to look up that Metal Church thing, because I can't quite believe that the singer from Metal Church has died. And I hope that's not the case. But that looked like somebody said. Do you know Metal Church?
I don't, I'm afraid.
Amazing band in the sort of 80s, 90s. Oh dear. Yeah, only 55.
Oh, wow.
So we've got an element here on blabbermouth.com, and it appears Metal Church singer Mike Howe's death ruled a suicide, which is bad news.
Shame.
Yeah, asphyxia due to hanging. Oh my word. And this guy had an amazing voice. I used to love Metal Church. 88 through to 94. Yeah, he was amazing. They were a really good band. Very, very good band. I think I saw them actually supporting somebody in the UK, but I can't remember who it was. So yeah, at 52, that's no age, is it?
No,
Really is.
That's a real shame. That.
Yeah, really sorry to hear that. That really is a bit of a nightmare. And in other news, just to cover it quickly, and also to say hello to Michiel. Good to see you. And Ben Tom. He says the singer did die from Metal Church. Yeah, we've I think I'm a bit behind the chat. Sorry, bro. Let's have a look. And Joey Jordison died this week too.
Yeah, that was shocking as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, all these deaths. Well, there is a little bit of different news that I wanted to cover this week, and that is that Kirk Hammett, what a surprise. He's announced a collaboration with Gibson. Why wouldn't he? Let's be honest. He's got Greenie Moore, and somebody that's got Greenie Moore is definitely going to be of interest to Gibson. But do you know what? We don't cover Gibson stories on this channel because they're not British and they're not boutique either. So we do want to cover our little show. And I have to say, Lewis, thank you so much for bringing so many great acts to the show last week. It was an amazing weekend. What was your take on it? What did you feel about it overall?
Difficult to digest at the time, what was happening around us, because we were just sort of all over the place, especially on the Sunday. That was a challenging day, to say the least. But
it was a little bit wet, wasn't it?
Just a little bit. But yeah, it took me a couple of days to really get my head around what we'd done and the scope of it going forward, especially. But yeah, I mean, the feedback from every single person who was there was just brilliant. And yeah, I think I said to you a few days ago, I think my phone's, I don't want to say off the hook, but it has been lighting up daily with people wanting to get involved next year. And brilliant. Also, we won't say too much on it, but I did mention that there was some high-end media interest as well, didn't I?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did tell you this, yeah, but I think we brushed it aside at the time. I think just before it had happened, literally in the couple of days running up to it, a certain something company got hold of what we were doing and was shall I say, a bit miffed that they weren't invited as such.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So not really put out, but I think they would be very interested in some sort of attendance next year. So
brilliant.
Yeah, so it certainly made waves way before we even basically got the first exhibitor set up that morning. So and yeah, a certain exhibitor as well has messaged. Well, they've all messaged me quite a few times. One of them, his website's blown up through the traffic already. He can't believe it.
Let me guess. RD amplification.
Yeah.
Yeah, look what I've got behind me.
Yeah, I wonder where that's gone. Am I getting that back at any point?
No, not for a while. So I've still got that to play through, and I've got one of your guitars. I've got one of Daniel's guitars, and I've also got an amp from Daniel's guitars just here. Oh, there we go. And I've been playing that and absolutely loving it. So there will be a video out on that really, really soon. So cool. I'm not finished with making British Boutique Guitar Festival videos yet.
You just can't help yourself, can you?
I can't. It's crazy. Sean Hockey saying the festival was off the hook. So cool. I watched every second of it. Well, thank you, brother. Really, really glad that you saw that. Brad Guitar Miller saying, wow, a Gibson snub? No, I wouldn't do that. I would. And Bam, I can see your comments. Sorry, brother. Saw that later. Yeah, we've covered that Joey Jordison from Slipknot died at 42. Do we know what of? And John ZD51 said there was enough musos die this past week to make a full band. Well, we've got a drummer, a bass player, and a singer. Let's hope there's no guitar players going to go.
That's one more member than Raw Blood, isn't it?
So. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. Where was that? British Nam. That's what Trevor Locke called it. It was the British Nam.
I mean, excellent. Never say never.
And Bam Mozzie saying bigger, better, and badder next year for sure, brother. Definitely. So yeah, absolutely. Apparently, Joey Jordison, according to CJ, had the same illness he had. Transverse myelitis. It's a form of MS. It's a daily struggle dealing with it. So sad to hear his passing. Yeah, absolutely. So we, brother. And you hang in there, CJ, because you're a good egg. And I know you've had some oh, pardon me. I shouldn't have had that gassy beer. I know you've had some issues, man. Bam Mozzie says RD amps seem to be a very big hit from the weekend. They definitely did. Well, they were not such a big hit with my neighbours, were they, Lewis?
No, but we just couldn't stop people. Well,
Mike Bradley, for about an hour after the live show, played well, in fact, Lewis's amp
He did,
on
yeah.
full bore in the studio. Well, I don't know if it was full bore, but it certainly made
Well,
my ears
he was.
hurt.
I think he was playing at a pretty reasonable volume until Rob noticed he was playing through the amp, and then obviously Rob came in the sales pitch, just whacked everything up on 4, and went, "That sounds good, doesn't it?"
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I came in for about 2 minutes and then went out again. I went, no, turn it off. My poor neighbours and also
Yeah.
my poor ears because I didn't have my earplugs in. I couldn't believe the pair of them were stood there playing at that volume with no earplugs in. Crazy
Yeah.
mode.
It was a bit of a hit, I think, with the exhibitors. The other exhibitors really loved his amps.
Definitely.
The YouTubers loved his amps.
Oh, yes.
And I think from what we gathered on the live streams, because I don't think anything's been released yet, but I think from the live streams, they seem to really like the amps.
Definitely. And I'm sure there's loads of RD amps coming out. I don't hate you for having a Gibson, mate. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate Gibson. No. We just don't mention them when we're talking about the British Boutique Guitar Festival. That's all. Which is what this little live stream tonight's about. So yeah, absolutely. Maybe Henning can make it next year. Then you'll need animals at the end. Well, funny you should say that. The Sunday was actually Henning's birthday, and we all wished him a happy birthday, which was really cool. And when I was chatting to Henning on Facebook, on Messenger afterwards, he said he would love to have been there. And I said to him, well, why didn't you come over? I did explain that because of the way that we'd funded it and done it, we couldn't afford to fly him over like he does with me. But it seems like he would have been up for coming anyway. And had I known that, he'd have been there, guys, because, yeah, that would have been absolutely great to return that favor. So, yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, Henning might be with us next year.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah. Van Mozzie confirming, yeah, certainly the comments from everybody was very positive about RD amps. And I'm glad I haven't upset Lee. Cheers, bro. There we go. There's a question. I'll let you answer that one. Was Crimson invited? They're an excellent British company.
No. No, they don't fit the boutique bill in the sense that, you know, they're essentially a small factory. What we try to do here is the small guys, you know, who don't have 300,000 YouTube subscribers and all that. We're trying to give these guys, and I'm in that bracket as well, a foot up as such, you know, that,
Definitely.
When we talked about this idea, Mike and I, it was about, you know, my advertising, you know, I have to look to pay on Facebook or Instagram, and unless you're spending hundreds into the thousands of pounds a month, you're just not getting anything, and it's just not a viable way of doing it. And then you could argue the printed press route is another way to go, but that is even more extortionate, and it's just not. You know, a lot of these companies are so sort of hand to mouth in how they're funded.
Yeah,
it's just not viable, and I felt that we needed something like this because there's so much talent, as you saw, Mike. There's just so much talent at that level that isn't getting seen. Enough,
there's one of them in at the moment because Chris from CNG's here. Look, Hey guys, last weekend was absolutely fantastic. Thanks, Mike and Lewis. Cheers, Chris from CMG Custom Guitars. Now, Chris is a solo builder like Lewis, and that's what we were aiming for. As Lewis said, you know, Crimson are a really big outfit. They're not a factory as such, but they are a more than one-man band. There's several of them that work there, and they've got more of a production line. So that's why we didn't invite them. It wasn't anything nasty. It wasn't because we don't like them, because we have no issue with any builders at all, but it just didn't really fit with what we were trying to do out there. They'd have filled that tent with their guitars.
Yes, I've been next to them at trade show, well, next door but one, at other shows, and whereas you go, well, I've got an 8-foot table and I can get 5 guitars on it.
Yeah.
They literally turned up with a whole stage and rack system, and they must have had 30 guitars.
There you go.
And
there you go.
Really,
they don't need us.
I was just going to say, would they really have benefited from this? It's not aimed, at them.
Would they really have come? Probably not. Probably not, and it probably wouldn't have been their kind of event. But as I say, nothing against anybody. Tall Thing Kev says, yes, ticket only for next year then. Well, I have to say, I think that the way it worked this year, and I'm sure that Chris from CMG Custom will agree with this, having just a few exhibitors and just a few YouTubers meant that we could make videos to pretty much every single brand. And I really enjoyed that. And I'd quite like to keep it that way going forward, even if we do manage to then maybe have a public day with all of the brands coming in on maybe on a day towards the end of the week. I don't know. We got to have a think about that. We haven't even had a wash-up meeting.
No.
Kind of my wash-up meeting with Lewis. We haven't really even discussed that, have we, mate?
No. There's so much to sort of discuss and debrief about the show. And then, oh man, just the thought of some of the talks we've got to have about, next year. Already.
We got some help. Look, we got some help. He says, I know I'm a Hungarian-born Yank, but I'd love to fly out and help you out with next year, dude. So Music Therapy Lads, that'd be awesome, man.
Yeah.
And he says, giving me ideas about doing a California boutique guitar builder show in the future. Do you know what? That's exactly what I hoped it would do. I think Henning kind of hoped that his events would spawn others. And yeah, I think it's really great, really great. Jason Carter agrees with us. I think the ethic of sticking with the minnows in a huge pond is admirable. And again, yeah, I think that's right. And Bam Mozzie just confirming that Crimson, probably the most well-known British-made guitars. So they really didn't need us. And it wasn't that we didn't need them. Well, we didn't need anybody other than the great people that did turn up. But it just worked with those guys. So, I think that's the way to look at it. Oh, you're late, are you, Dave? Okay, we'll let you off. And Trevor Locke appreciates what we said. CGS and Lewis, excellent answer. There you go. So that's why we didn't. Oh, yes. We also lost Kansas. See, we have got a band because Jeff LaBar, Cinderella guitarist, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Passed as well. So we lost Kansas violinist Robbie Steinhardt, Jeff LaBar, Gary Corbett, keyboardist. Yes, both of them. Who was I discussing this with on another live show? I think it was last week's live show. No, it can't have been because last week was the British Guitar Festival. Oh, dear. There you go. It's Henning's long-term ploy, just being invited all over the world to these things. So, yeah, I think you might be right, Michael. And I can't wait to see you, brother. I'm on my way out to you in August. So that should be really great fun. Yeah. So we have actually lost a complete band this week.
Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah,
it really is. CGS, a church size hall in a couple of years? ?
Nah, in a couple of years we'll need something bigger than that.
Oh, and also even this year, when we were going to do it at a venue, we were doing a massive venue and taking over the whole venue. So yeah, it's not a case of needing bigger premises. I think it's a case of getting all the videos made for each of the brands and not letting anybody miss out, because that's a real shame.
Yeah, that was a real good point you made, actually, quite early on in the show. I think, when we were having a quick chat about it, I can't remember whether it was Saturday evening, maybe, but it's very quick to go, let's get, there's thousands of builders and get them all here, get them in a massive venue. But then if there's only 2 studios to make the content, like you say, people are going to miss out, and that's not what this is about. So
Exactly. This is about giving the brands exposure. And Chris at CMG, there we go. It showcased the best of British solo makers. And I think that's the key thing. It was almost entirely, in fact, I think it was entirely solo builders. I don't think any of them are more than two-man bands, even Turnstone Guitars, who made those beautiful acoustics.
yeah.
Susie well, sorry, Rosie. I'll get the name right.
Yeah, yeah. She pretty much does everything.
Yeah,
You know, there's no sort of factory line up there. It's just her in a workshop. She does have an apprentice, but there's a really nice arrangement there where I think her apprentice splits her time helping Rosie, and then the sort of payback for that is Rosie helps her do
yeah,
her stuff, you know. So that's
sure.
that's not a factory or anything like that, you know.
It's just her husband, and the intern, isn't it?
Mm.
So that's a very small operation as well, and that really helps. Apparently, Jason Carter says he's tried to blag his way into Henning's event, but he's not part of the trade and no public. If you can get me a fake pass, Mike, I'll pay well. I think it's more than my life is worth. But hey, bro, it'd be good to see you. Sean says, did your daughter Emily make out with all those super chats? Big money Emily fund. Once we get it from YouTube at the end of the month, she will get it. Absolutely. All of those super chats went to her. Do you know what she said? She said, I don't want it. I'm having so much fun. And I said, no, you're getting them because people sent them to you. In fact, she didn't realize that that's what people were doing. And when she come on and she said, yay, that's great, she didn't actually know that that's what people were doing. So she was really shocked. She said, you didn't tell me that, Dad. I would have said a bigger thank you to them all. But there you go. She really did appreciate it.
And like I said to you earlier in the week, a big thank you to Emily, because what everybody would not have seen from the live shows is that she was running around all day, all 3 days throughout the weekend, basically keeping the very needy exhibitors very happy. Yeah, no, she did work very hard. Yeah.
Bless her. She loved it, and I think one of the first things she said after the show was, "I'll help you out again next year if you want, Dad."
Oh, nice.
That was really, really cool. Trevor Locke saying Rosie's guitars were awesome, and she's the perfect woman. She makes guitars. Yeah, I think you said that on one of the live streams during the weekend, mate. There you go. That's very true. You probably need a studio for each brand. Yeah, and yeah, she was really, really a great builder. So those acoustics were just absolutely incredible, and yeah, all of the exhibitors were just awesome. So really, really enjoyed that. We have got a bit of a video to play today, and it's actually from my buddy Sean Hockey, who asked me if I would do this because recently I also did my buddy from Germany's band, Bouncing Betty, and he said, would I play his video? And of course, the answer has to be yes. And this is Sean and his brother, Jay Hockey, and I forget the name of the singer, but I'm sure he'll tell you in the comment section. And this is a bit of a tribute to all of the American heroes from the American what should we say, troops, what would you call it, service personnel.
Yeah.
And their band is called Senescent, and this track is called Freedom. So I really hope that you all enjoy this track, and here it is. Okay, apparently you haven't got any audio on that. I thought this would play as audio, but maybe I need to have my mic on in order for you to have audio. So I will start that again because it is pretty good, and I'll turn it up at my end. So sorry about that. I'll just mute Lewis and I'll leave my mic on. Sorry, Sean. Okay, so there we go, folks. Yeah, I'm sorry that that ended up being a little bit weird there. I could only play it through my speakers. This is obviously not the best way to play videos, this StreamYard experience. So yeah, that was coming through my microphone, and I did turn it up for you guys. But I did promise Sean I would play it. Great track, brother, and really, really enjoyed that. I might even be able to pop it onto one of the live shows on the ATEM so that you can, so that we can get that one properly. Sorry, Lewis, I've muted your mic. There we go. You're back.
Yes.
Yeah. So sorry, Trevor, that wasn't the best sound, but Sean enjoyed it, and good on you, mate. Yeah. Very, very patriotic, shall we say? And I guess in a way, that's all we're doing here as well with our British Boutique Guitar Festival.
Although
sorry, go on.
I was going to say we could learn something there, something from the barbecue on Friday. I noticed somebody poured Budweiser on a beer on the barbecue. In the middle of the video.
On the barbecue.
Oh, the Budweiser, he just poured it on the burger.
Oh, wow.
That's obviously where I went wrong on Friday. That's why they were cremated.
Well, yeah. It was a lovely barbecue, I have to say. You didn't do bad, mate. You didn't do bad, considering that you were running around helping everybody else and also helping Emily and all that good stuff. We had our work cut out, mate. We really did. It's a pleasure, Sean. No worries. I'm sorry the audio wasn't great, but as I said, maybe we'll play it on one of the Sunday live shows at some point soon. So there we go. Quentin is in. He says dog videos are the best.
Yeah.
And he says yikes, yikes. So cheers, Quentin. Not water, it's alcohol-free beer, so it might as well be water, but cheers, brother. So yeah, I think that we certainly for next year, well, that's the thing. The good thing is we're already talking about next year. So that shows how well the show went. And I definitely feel inclined to push for. I think we could manage the 8 that we did each day in the marquee.
Yeah.
But maybe the way to expand it, and this is stuff that Lewis and I have to talk about, but maybe we'll have a wash-up meeting here and now in front of everybody. No, I was just thinking it might be good to add an extra day or two, perhaps. Start it on the Wednesday or Thursday or something, and then run it till Sunday.
Yeah, I think just looking at people who've got in touch already about next year, that we're just not going to fit everyone in over a weekend and get content made. So I think it definitely, one way or another, is going to be bigger next year.
I also feel that would also give us an opportunity for a couple more YouTubers, because one of the things that really worked incredibly well, I know Lee and Carl were there. Well, actually, Carl had to go on the Sunday morning for family reasons, but the fact that we had Joss on the first day and then not on the second, and he came back on the last. Obviously, Lee and I were there every day. Lee had to go off early on the Saturday. I think maybe what I might do next year is look at maybe inviting more YouTubers for one day each, so that they all get a chance to make some content. Because that kind of work. But obviously, those that came and did all the days this year, we would like to offer to come back and do all the days next year, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think it worked really well. They all kind of, I don't say played to their strengths, because it's a bit of a cliche, but they all knew straight away.
Look who's here! Look who's here! The man himself. Definitely. He says BBG Fest was amazing. Well done, guys. Well done, you as well.
Yeah. And
you're in the lead at the moment, Lee. You've got 2 videos out and I've only got 1. So I'm really, really impressed. Hey, Adam D, how you doing? But yeah, I think Lee said he would love to come back next year, and I'd love to have him for the whole event. He was really great. And the good thing was that both Lee and also Carl did switching for us. And also I taught Joss, and Joss was more than happy to jump in and switch as well, which made it really, really cool. Jason Carter, where'd you get the Union Jack rug? It was just an online purchase, man. You can get them from anywhere. So there we go. If it's an all ticket affair, count Trevor Lockin. Well, there you go. I'm not sure what we'll do in terms of yeah, there you go. He knew I was saying his name. He could sense it. I love it. Yeah, it's cool to see you, bro. I miss you already and can't wait to fly to Germany with you, brother. It's going to be a great time out there. So, and also, he's going to be there. Michiel, he's going to be there. Even one video is more than HB shoots at his events. Yeah, you're right. Henning doesn't actually shoot any content at his events. He lets everybody else get on with it. Hey, Mark Dalton, good to see you. So yeah, I think, I don't know, you tell me what you think, Lewis. I think we could invite 1 or 2 more YouTubers. John Robson got in touch afterwards and said he was gutted about not making it because obviously his wife's had an operation and he had to stay and look after her. But he wants in next year.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple of others that want in. So, yeah, it could be fun.
Yeah, I mentioned to you just before the show that a certain rather large podcast, not Guitar Fuzz, who was there, the actual big one, really wanted in, and actually they've been circulating a lot of the stuff from the show, which is great, and they really want in next year. I've had messages from a couple of grammars that also you want to come down and check it out. So I think the buzz has got around, which is great. And I think, you know, as more and more content comes out, it's only going to go one way. So, yeah. But I think, the guys that we had there this year, it was a superb mix, and they're all just the nicest guys. And then they're just like phenomenal guitar players as well.
They were. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm quite impressed with this. I'm a little bit taken aback, mind you. Mike, would you consider expanding to other instruments next year? I was well impressed by your drumming. Oh, man. Thank you so much. You just made my day. But yeah, I'm not a drummer, but I was the only YouTuber that was brave enough to have a go at the drums. So there we go. Yeah, definitely. Henning, we've already talked about inviting Henning next year, because in my chat with him afterwards, Lee, he said he wished he was there. So he'd have come anyway. So there we go. Dunsey, yeah, possibly. That would be good. I wouldn't mind inviting Dunsey down. Good. Not me. Hello, what's going on? I seem to have lost Lewis for a moment there. Is that me or is that you guys? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No, I seem to have lost my stream. That's not good.
I was going to say, was that me? Or...
No, I think it was me, mate. I'm back. I'm back. I was just laughing at the Chinese drum skeptic, and then my whole system froze. So, oh man. Music Therapy Lads is a large part of the Hungarian community in the Bay Area. He's going to put on a festival, which could be fun. Dennis, better late than never, always. Auto tune? No, probably not. Let me see what comments I have missed up. You can hear me now. That's good. I am back. We're back. No idea what happened there, but sorry about that. MTL says I can. Oh, sorry, wrong one. I can play the drums well and have thoughts of including boutique pedal builders. Yeah, we did have pedal builders, didn't we? But for one reason or another, they all had to pull out. I think we had 3 at one point, didn't we?
Yeah, and I think one of them was definitely because of the rescheduled date. It was quite soon, wasn't it, after we announced it? He straight away said, you know, I'm there next year though. So that's great. And since then, other boutique pedal builders have been in touch. So
what a shocker!
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
We weren't expecting that at all, were we?
No.
Oh dear. I think well, we set up an overhead camera as well for pedals, and then really only had Pedal Patch show his patch cables. So that was a bit of a shame. But having said that, unless they'd have gone in on day one, we didn't really have space for too many. And also I'm thinking it's quite tricky to set up for pedals.
Yeah. I mean, had one of them come, they probably would have cornered the entire market, wouldn't they? Well, that's the thing.
There you go.
So I you know, it was great to see Phil at Pedal Patch though, and he really made me want to tinker with my pedal board. He knows I've got one of those big pedal train type things with too many pedals on it, and I said a few are going. I said the only reason I haven't taken them off yet is because I had all the wires, cut and made at that point. I thought, if I start messing with this, even though there's about 6 pedals on there I don't use anymore and I want them off. And he went, no, it's really, look at this. And yeah, I think I've signed up to some pedal building class with him as well now.
Oh, that sounds like fun. I wouldn't mind doing that myself. Really, really good idea. Jason Carter says, invite Dave Simpson. He would be a hoot. He was invited. He didn't even reply. You get one chance with me. I may not invite him next year. Maybe I did say check his spam. If anybody talks to him, get him to check his spam. But there we go. Thank you, Sandra. That's really sweet. She's saying, no joke. Yo, no joke. Hit that like. Hit that like. She's telling you, guys. She's definitely telling you. Yeah, I think it was Google as well. I think Google don't like StreamYard. And I don't think they like the fact that I've just bought and paid for a year's worth of StreamYard either, because my Friday videos, so I can have guests on, are pretty much all going to be StreamYard this year. And so I thought, yeah, I'll buy the basic plan so I can get my logo in the top corner, and so I can have different shapes for the chat. And also it means I can play my videos. In fact, I should have downloaded that that video that we did play. That would be a way to work it. I'll try that for next time. Whether it'll do a video that long, I'm not sure. That's a good shout. Thanks for that, Trevor. CGS next year, have a few Milton guitars on show. Well, there's only one person I want to build Milton guitars at the minute other than me, and I'm chatting to him now. So, and I think he's got his hands full and his work cut out building LT custom guitars. And also that Pioneer, mate. Your Pioneer went down really well as well, didn't it?
Yeah, I was chuffed. It's as well, as you know, because you did the actual premiere of the whole thing when I launched the P1.
I did indeed.
I've just, yeah, thanks, man. But it's because of COVID and lockdown. It's been in sort of 2 artists' hands. Other than that, there's been nowhere to take it. Nowhere to show it.
Take one of your guitars. Was it a P1 that was taken at the end of the show?
Somebody did take a P1 at the end of the show. Yeah.
Who might that have been?
I don't know if we're allowed to name drop, but yeah, no, that's exciting. And it was great to just see them play, hear them played, and then the anniversary one that was there with the Paulonia body with the Claro top.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I'm really pleased.
Saying you built that for the show, mate. Because
essentially it worked out that I finished it 2 days before. So there's not much. Yeah,
but it was pretty much what everybody voted for you to build for the show. And just to let you know, guys, Lewis was going to build a guitar for the show, a Pioneer, but unfortunately, he's had a bit of a problem, haven't you? You've had like a semi hernia, so you can't actually lift anything.
Yeah, so my intestines have made
it. It's his way of getting out of.
Yeah, that's it. That was it. Yeah. No, sadly, my lower intestines, I think it's lower intestines, made a bid for freedom through my belly button. So yeah, only small enough, but it's made for some uncomfortable times. And I think I've said to you before, but you get programmed in a way. You go, I'll just pick that up, I'll just move this, I'll just do that, and probably half the time I'm okay, but sometimes I'll do something where I'm not in a sort of solid position and I have to be careful not to tense now, because the doctor said, well, even though it's small, so let's not get graphic here, but
no.
Yeah, even though it's small, the doctor was like, these are the ones you need to be careful of, because if any more goes that way, it don't go that way, and then it's an A&E job. So, and at the minute,
you did your fair share of lifting, no heavy lifting to be
fair. Yeah. So I mean, I made the joke with the doctor. She went, nothing heavier than your dinner plate, and I was like, have you seen how much I eat? I eat a lot. They are some heavy plates. She didn't find that funny at all. So
oh dear.
Yeah, so yeah, I am gutted because, yeah, as you mentioned, it was going to be launching my P2 Pioneer, which is the next one up from the P1. So it'll have the exotic tops, the gloss finishes, a bit more of a sort of a thrill ride of a guitar, you know, something.
And Paulina?
That's, yeah, Polonia
Polonia.
that is one of the body options. And that's why I threw it on the anniversary Pioneer, which I thought the P1s were light. And that, yeah, actually, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the P1s finish around 6.5 pounds with Swamp Ash, which is lighter than the other option you have, which is Carina or Limber.
Yeah.
But the Polonia, before you even get into the sort of sustainable side of it, it is that one finished with a Claro walnut top that finished at £5 7 ounces fully built. And I mean, that's
amazing.
Yeah, considering you know, I think the only guitar I've built that's lighter than that was a completely, well, not completely, but a double thin line telly that was 7/8 size for my artist Emma King. But the solid strip down the center was literally about 20 mil, and then it expanded out around the pickups and then the back into the neck. So there was almost, it was almost a, you know, a fully hollow body one, and that was £5.5. So to get close like that, I was really impressed.
No, it was a great build, mate. It really was. Talking of great builds, look who we've got in. We've got Ghetto amps, and guess what I've got right here? That is a Ghetto amp, guys. It was left with me by now let me get his name right. Dave, Domino,
nope.
Diamond, Duncan,
nope.
Derek,
nope.
what was his name?
Darren,
of course. Darren left this with me. He's been working with Ghetto amps, and this amp is absolutely beautiful. I don't know if you can see it. It's got 3 10-inch speakers in it, and I've been playing this thing pretty much non-stop since Derek?
Darren.
Oh man, I just can't ever remember his name. I'm terrible. But it is an absolutely exquisite amp, and you've really got some fun coming up with this, because I've been playing the Daniels Guitars purple Les Paul through it, and oh man,
did he leave that with you as well?
Sorry,
he left that with you as well.
Let me just go and see if I can show you something. Talk amongst yourselves.
Well, yeah. Good to be here. I hope everyone's well. I hope you all enjoyed the live streams. Yeah, it's well, there you go. He's back. Pressure off.
Look at this. This is an absolute beauty. We're going to be having a demo of this on the channel really soon through, there we go. Let me see if I can get in a dark space of the roof. Absolutely beautiful guitar. Yes, Daniel's Guitars. I love his headstock detail, and I love his logo as well. So yeah, I've been playing this through that Ghetto amp, and man, I have written a tune which yeah, it just inspired me to write, and this is a beautiful guitar. I'm going to put it back because I don't want to spoil the surprise when I make a video. Talk about yourself.
So Darren actually did bring another build. Well, he brought several builds to the show, and everything he does is just immaculate. The one that really caught my eye, and I don't want to say I'm going to steal the idea, but I did talk to him and say I might do something similar. He built an absolutely stunning double cut that had the paisley floral design under it, didn't he? And I was just looking at it the whole day thinking, oh man, that's just like, I know we see it on Strats and Tellys, don't we? But seeing it on a double cut, that was just something else. Yeah,
absolutely. Everybody loves this guitar. That's a good point. Did you say it was a giveaway, Mike?
yeah.
Yeah,
Derek will be chuffed with that.
Derek could be over the moon. Lee is saying, that's my guitar, give it back. Actually, I'll tell you what, I think it was that one and the Paisley double cut that were played on the last day
Yeah.
by Lee, because I banned Lewis's guitars from being played on the last day because you'd had your guitars played every single day.
Yeah, I had. In fact, I think Lee played the P1 on the Friday,
He did.
and a very good customer of mine very kindly bought back. He dropped around one of the basses that I made for him. That was used on the Saturday, wasn't it? So
Yes, yeah. A mutual friend, our buddy Phil.
Yeah.
Lovely bass guitar as well. I did have a chance to have a little quick noodle on that because I don't think I got to play it around your place because you were still doing finishing and putting strings on it when I last saw it. So
yeah,
I don't think it had strings on, but that bass was beautiful. It's similar to the P bass, isn't it? Or the P1.
So I actually had the P1 drawn up. It was in the drawing stage around the time that Phil commissioned the bass, and he wanted something a little bit more modern. I was like, hey, we can totally incorporate these ideas by modifying, a jazz style bass, and it kind of gets there. And just straight, I think it was first drawing I did for him. He's like, yes, that's the one. And I was like, brilliant. And then obviously got that made. And then I think more commissions came in for various things. And the P1 pretty much got pushed back a whole year. So even though the Jaeger bass was technically released before the P1 did come first. So
it came out first. Yeah. I remember, mate. I love that bass. I love the look of all of that as well. It's got that classic. It's not a classic. It's a sort of a modern take on a classic shape, but it's your own shape, and that's what I love about it because there's very few guitar companies now building new shapes of. And hello, James Severin. Good to see you, man. There's not very many building a new shape of guitar, and I think we need them. The last time I can remember a new shape, it was not dissimilar to that down there, that PRS. Paul Reed Smith sort of come up with his own shape and his own design, and I think I love that. I do love that idea, and that P1 is a really beautiful shape.
Thanks, man.
It's also ergonomic as well. It feels good to play.
Yeah, that was one of the main points of the P1 is that although it may look stripped back, it has to be 100% functional, easy to play. Something that as a player you're going to pick up and play. If you want to gig every night with it, you can. It's going to hold up. That was sort of going into it from a player's point of view as well as a builder's point of view.
Definitely for sure. It's lovely to have Lee here. I was going to invite you in, Lee, but bearing in mind that I only do a maximum of an hour show, I've got literally 15 seconds left. So I didn't invite Lee in, but Lee, you're always welcome on the show, brother. A big thank you, Lewis, for getting so many great bands down for this weekend just gone. And I really feel that we've hit the stride straight out of the trap, which I think is really, really important. Obviously, I've been very lucky and very fortunate to have done the 4 shows that I've done in Germany. And I think that gave me a good idea of what I wanted to do. I hope all of you lot, and also Lewis, I hope you enjoyed it as well. I hope you liked the idea of the live show, because I thought what I thought was A, it shows all the brands. B, it also covers a jam, which is what makes it a festival.
Mm.
And I really missed that from GitCon, because I thought that was one of the good things about GitCon, having the jams, the live jams in the evening, and also the round tables at GitCon TGU, where we sort of got together and chatted over a topic. But what I really liked about the end of the live show, the sofa portion, was that it gave us the opportunity for all of the people out there watching to ask questions and feel a little bit more in on it. So
Yeah.
apparently Lee sat on the sofa noodling on the P1.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
there you go. So I hope that worked for you, mate.
It did. Do you know, I really loved that. I think from the outset, from day one, I just thought, yeah, this works. The live show, like you say, it gets people involved. It gives them a bit of live music, and it shows off everything it gives people a taste of what's there, what's going to come up in the content. But I have to say, one of my favorite parts of the whole weekend, I'm just laughing thinking about it. It's in the live show on day 3. And it's around the 28-minute marks if you guys want to go back and check this out, because I watch this video and I keep winding back to that to watch it. And it's where Mike comes up to Kay Newport with the Infinity case. And you were busy sort of trying to close the Infinity case. And I think you went to give him a fist bump, didn't you? Like, thanks for coming, give him a fist bump. He just took the mic off. You totally misread the situation and then just stood there like, hello. And you were like, yeah,
hello, everyone.
Yeah, I've spoken to him since, and he found it hilarious as well. He's like, yeah, I was just like a deer in the headlights there. He said I should have told a knock joke or something, but that was his time to shine. But I just thought that was just one of those innocent moments that just went wrong live, and we went with it.
We've had a few wrong moments on that last show because I forgot to switch, or actually I didn't forget to switch. What happened was the software decided to play me up, and I had hit the button for the camera outside, but it hadn't registered because the Stream Deck was playing up with Companion. And so I saw it change on the screen and that I'd hit that button, but it didn't actually change. So it was still on cam 4 on the laptop. So there we go. Never mind. And we've even had it on this show because, hey, we lost the stream halfway through, but hey, we're back now. Anyway, Lewis, thanks so much again for all the brilliant brands. I've really thoroughly enjoyed putting the show on with you, and I can't wait to get together, have the wash up meeting, and also to start planning for next year, because I think, again, doing what we did this year and doing it again, I think it's going to work really well, don't you?
Yeah. I'm really already at this stage. It's only been a week, but I'm already like crazy excited for what's to come. And
oh man,
and thank you as well, because you put an awful lot into this as well. And without
copy penning,
you had to keep the YouTubers in line,
they were good boys.
They were, yeah.
He's a good lad. They're all good lads. And actually, I'm really looking forward to more of the content coming out. I'm going to have a video on Tuesday. I might even, I don't know, I'm not sure yet whether I'll have a Friday off and release a Friday video, or maybe I can release a midweek one and keep that Friday feeling. Anyway, guys, I really hope that you've all got that Friday feeling. It's the start of the weekend. It's the best day of the week. And hopefully you've enjoyed this this little stream with my buddy Lewis. Thanks again, Lewis, for coming on tonight.
Cheers. My pleasure.
And Dale Palmer, there he is, right at the end. What I should do is not animals at the end like Henning. I should have and Dale Palmer at the end, because he's always at the end just saying great show, and he does it on all of my premieres as well. So thanks, Dale, very much. Thanks, Ben Mossy, as always, for being the absolute ultimate moderator. And thanks to everybody that's been in today. And all that remains for me to say is, as always, guys, you take good care. this would work now.